y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. I'm Susan. You can also find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative Podcast. Today is Friday, April 29th, 2022. This is episode 30. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. If you are returning, I appreciate you coming back. There's a small little group of you that do watch me regularly, and I appreciate that. I do this largely for fun, so I appreciate every one of you that comes to watch, and I would enjoy getting to know some of you a little better. Anyway, so it's been about 6 weeks since I've done this. This is like my 4th or 5th time trying to start this video because I can't remember what to say. So I do have quite a bit to show, but I'm going to try to run through a little bit quickly so that I don't take up too much of your time. Just for your general information, all of my knitting and crochet projects, I have pattern pages on Ravelry, or project pages on Ravelry, that you can see the details if I don't mention something. Also, for my cross-stitch projects, there is a Google Drive spreadsheet link below, which will also tell you some more details about those if I neglect to mention something like which fabric or floss or that sort of thing. Excuse me. Pollen is still very bad here in North Carolina. I fortunately was able to work from home yesterday and work from home a little bit this morning, but decided to take off early and get this done. But it's been nice to kind of like stay in the house for a couple of days and not be out in the crud. So anyway, let's get, well, first let me tell you just a little bit of hearsay. Since I last saw you, not too much. I did go to the mountains for a weekend, which was really nice. Rented a neat little cabin by a creek, which was cute. And the only other really, I guess, exciting thing that I've done is I went last weekend to see Jimmy Buffett in concert. I had not seen Jimmy Buffett in 30 years. So it was very nostalgic. Went with my husband and another couple. I got the tickets for free. Honestly, I like Jimmy Buffett, but I probably would not have bought the tickets. But I got the tickets for free. So some friends of ours came up and we went for the weekend. I was the only one of the 4 of us who had ever seen him before. I believe this was my 4th time seeing him. I saw him once my freshman year of college at ECU in Minji's Auditorium. I don't even remember that concert. I was so drunk. If you're watching this, Mom, sorry. I saw him at Walnut Creek in Raleigh, which is where we went this past weekend when I was in law school once. I remember that one a little better. And I'm pretty sure that I saw him at Carowinds, but I can't remember whether or not that was when I was in high school or college. But anyway, I remember this concert a lot more than most of the others. In part because of time and in part because of imbibing alcohol at some of the previous ones. Excuse me. But it was just fun, you know, to hear a lot of the songs that are to relive my youth a little bit. So although we were much more sober this time, particularly because of the cost of drinks in the venue. But anyway, and it was good to hang out for the weekend with our friends that came up. So anyway, that's about it. I will get into the crafting now. I have 3 verdicts to show you, or excuse me, 3 categories of verdicts, because in one of them I have multiples. But so first are my March Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I am doing the Desert Vista Dye Works sock along, or sock. It's basically you knit a pair of socks a month. You have to start them. You can't start them till the beginning of the month. You have to finish them by the end of the month. They have to be out of Desert Vista Dye Works yarns, and there are like rewards you can earn for doing it. So I have a lot of Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, and I always carry socks around in my pocketbook. So I'm just trying to get some used up. I think y'all saw these in progress last time. These are Desert Vista Dye Works in the St. Lawrence colorway. And so these are the ones I finished for March. And then the next verdict is pot holders. As I've mentioned before, I get the Acorns and Twigs. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's not Acorns and Threads, it's a stitch shop. Acorns and Twigs. Just keep looping box every month. Excuse me. And I had gotten a little behind, so I don't think you've seen these. So these are the ones from the February box. And so the February box had like March colors. The March box has like April colors. So these were the February box. And I made all 4 of these. I believe they come with all the loops and 4 patterns for pot holders. I have the Harrisville pot holder loom, the pro size, which is the larger size. This was the March box, which was not this one looks very rainbowy, but you know, so bright primary colors. And the first 3 I made as the cards called for. And then this one, I kind of did my own thing. The pattern for this one was a lot more of the reds, and I'm not a big red person, so I just kind of used what colors were left over and came up with my own pattern on that one. And then I just got the April box, I think Wednesday, and I've made 3 of those 4. I have not finished. I haven't done the 4th one yet. So that's 1. And those I made according to pattern. This one I made according to pattern, except it was supposed to be all purple and white, and I added just the 3 leftover blues that were in there because blue is my favorite color. So if I have any blues, I'm going to try to use them. And there's 1 more left to make, which is this green and white, and it's made to look kind of like striped instead of checked. So I haven't done that one yet. So I have got a lot of pot holders enough now. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with them all. A lot of people might be getting pot holders for Christmas this year. And then the last verdict that I have is I actually finished a cross stitch, and I meant to grab a board or something to put behind it, but I don't have one, so you'll just have to make do. I finished my little dragonfly piece that I showed you last time. This was, let me see if I can get it up here where you can actually see it. There's a lot of satin stitch in that. Maybe, hopefully you can see it. So this was a little kit that a friend of mine gave me for my birthday a couple years ago. It's called Dragonfly 3 by Elizabeth's Designs. This was one of my March whip goes, and my goal for whip go was to finish it, so I did. Obviously, it has not been ironed yet. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with it, so I haven't wanted to, like, cut it or anything. I probably, hindsight, didn't think about it. Should have ironed it before I put the charm on it. Didn't think that far ahead. So, you know, I'll figure it out when it comes time. It's also got beads on it, so I can't iron it. Fortunately, since it all fit in one hoop, the part where it's stitched is relatively smooth. So I really just kind of need to iron those edges out. And like I said, I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet. So we'll see. So let's move on to Court is in Session. I'm sorry if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. And we'll start with the knitting. I am almost finished with my April socks, which is good since tomorrow's the end of April and I have to finish these. I will probably finish these tonight watching TV. Again, this is Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, and this is the colorway Big Magic. So I have done the foot. I'm on the leg. I just need to knit another couple inches of leg and a cuff. And like I said, I'll probably finish those tonight watching TV. This is a sparkle base, so you can see there's a little bit of silver sparkle in it. So working on, I knit all of my socks on US 0 2mm needles. Toe up with a Fish Lips Kiss Heel usually, just because I have that one memorized. And it fits me pretty well. Next, my high-low temperature cowl, which is patterned by Victoria Myers. I'm knitting this on a US 4 3.5mm needle. I'm using Fiber Studio at Yarns to Dive 4's Advent Kit from 2020. And so here's where I am on this. Let's see if I can get I've got these on really short needles, so I don't want to slide the stitches off. So this is just a corrugated rib pattern. All of the knit stitches are the high temp for the day. The purl stitches are the low temp for the day. And I have, that's my chart so far to kind of give you an idea of, we haven't gotten into the high 80s yet, but actually I think was a day this past week we got to 86, so I'll be breaking out a new color this week when I work on it. so you knit this in a tube, and at the end you will graft the two ends together. As I've mentioned before, I think it's probably not going to be quite as long as I would like, but at this point, I'm about a third of the year, so 3 times that will be enough to go around and not be too choking. I prefer my cows to be the kind that are long enough to like loop around, fold in half and loop around if you want it closer, but can hang longer. So we'll see. That is in a fat squirrel bag that I bought a while ago. Next, I started a new bounce blanket because I finished the last one. I think I showed you the one I had finished for my coworker last time. This one is probably going to be for another coworker who has found out she's pregnant, and she's found out for sure she's having a girl. So, and she does like pastels. So I may give her this, but she also really does like pink. So I may do another one for pink. She's not due till October, so I've got some time to decide. So this is Bounce by Tin Can Knits, which is kind of my go-to baby blanket pattern. I'm using a US 7 4.5 millimeter needle, Universal Cotton Supreme. In the colors starting, white is the in-between color, aqua, yellow, powder blue, and apricot. And that one that looks kind of gray on the screen is actually a really, really light baby blue. But it does have a gray undertone to it. So if that doesn't end up being for Jessica, it will be for somebody else, I'm sure. And then this is a new project that you have not seen before. I have done the body. I'm on the sleeves. I'm making the Ulele Coat by Triana Murphy. I'm making this for my youngest granddaughter, who will be 2 in June. And so I have done, this is out of Malabrigo Rios in the magenta colorway. It's like a garter stitch, and then up here is like a broken rib pattern. And I've done the short rows on the sleeve, and I'm getting ready to start the sleeve. So that's going to be for my almost 2-year-old granddaughter. So I'm hoping to get that done by her birthday in June, which shouldn't be a problem. I knit most of the body in 3 or 4 days. And that's in another fat squirrel bag from several years ago. And then the next, sorry for reaching off screen. I got so much stuff around me. I'm in my messy craft room in the Rami Hill 2022 Spring Mystery Shawl started last Friday. The pattern, I think the pattern is going to be called Time Heals. I am making this out of some yarn that I got at Carolina Fiber Fest from a new to me dyer, McMullen Fiber Company, and their Posh Sock, which is a cashmere merino nylon blend out of Pink Canyon and Côte d'Azur, one of those French names I can't pronounce, but basically a blue-green. My ball wander kept, this skein was not wound the best, and so it kept kind of, I can't think of the right word, but it wasn't coming off the Swift as well as it should have. So it made my ball winder slip, so I ended up having to hand wind. After I did about half of this on the ball winder, I had to end up hand winding the rest of it. But anyway, if you're doing this shawl and you have not seen all of Clue 1, look away for a minute if you want to. I have finished Clue 1. Clue 2 just came out today. And when I looked about noon, I didn't have it yet, but I just saw an email. I think I've got it. I just haven't downloaded it yet. So this is Clue 1. This is a half circle shawl. I love Rami Hill, and I love doing her Spring Mystery every year. I usually love the pattern, so she's one that I enjoy doing the mysteries because I know I will usually love the end result. So that's all for the knitting verdicts. Not knitting verdicts, the knitting courtesan session. Let's get on to the cross-stitch courtesan session. Okay, I have worked on quite a few projects in the past 6 weeks, so I will try to remember to put a picture here of where I was last time on each of these, and also before that a picture of what if I don't have a hard copy picture, I'll try to put a picture of what the finished project will look like first, and then a picture of what it looked like last time. So anyway, let's start with my temperature bookshelf Temperature Bookshelf by Christie's Corner. I'm doing this on 36 count Jody fabric. It's in a Sock Monkey bag by Lynn X Stitch Creates. And this is where I am. This is through last so first let me let me back up. I'll put a picture of what the sort of what the final thing looks like, and then I'll put a picture of what it looked like last time. I'm taking off the top of the Q-snap so I can show you the whole thing, because I didn't realize most of the other ones in the Q-snap you can see everything I've done. So this is where I am. This is through last Saturday, whatever that was, the 23rd? Yeah. So, some of the books where the temperature was the same range 2 days in a row, like you can see here, I've got like 3 days. Eventually, I'm going to go back and do probably a light back stitch between those to create kind of a shadow effect, so you can at least see there's 2 books there. But I just haven't gotten around to doing that. I haven't decided. Maybe one day I'll just get the urge to do it. Otherwise, it probably will not happen until the end of the year. But, and I just dropped one of my, I can't remember what they're called, but the things you put around bobbins, I mean, spools of thread to hold them. I use sometimes to hold little blips of fabric, and that fell off, but I'll get it later. The next one to show you is, this is a brass button bag. This is Happily Ever After by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this was one of my March Whip Go projects. The Dragonfly that I showed you finished was also a March Whip Go, and my goal was to finish that, so I did. I may have reminded now I've said that. This is what it looked like last time, and my Whip Go goal for this for the year was to do another 25%. This was called not only for Whip Go in March, but also my spin for my other weeks. It came up, so it got like 2 full weeks. So, whoops, that's upside down. So I got quite a bit done on this. I got the whole, I think the whole 3rd row finished. Yeah, I got the whole 3rd row finished. So like I said, my goal was 25%. I did like 37 point something percent on this. So if I have some time to go back to this year, this could possibly be a finish this year. So we'll see. It's not due to get any more work since it's already been called for Whip Go and on my wheel spin. But if I have an extra week, kind of like I did in March, I may work on it some more. So this is, as I said, the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is on the kit fabric, which was a 14 count. Picture this plus Helix. It's a sparkly. And so that is Happily Ever After. That is one of my, I don't know if it's my oldest whip or, let me look real quick. It's not my oldest whip, but it is my 3rd oldest. I have 2 others that are older than that, which you're not going to see today. And then my April Whip Go calls. The first one was Bayou Cat, which is, I have a picture here. That's what it looks like. This is a kit from Al Forrest Embroidery. It is on the kit fabric, which is a 32 count Zweigart something. With the kit floss. Their floss is beautiful. It's, and I'll put a picture of what it looked like last time you saw it. And I got quite a bit done on this. So a lot of the cat done. I'm going to try to get the cat done first, and then I'll add all the extra stuff around it. So quite a bit done on that one. And I believe that I have met my Whip Go goal for the year on that. I can't remember if that's still on my wheel or not. And this is in a bag, Route 66 bag. And we've been through this before that I can't remember who the bag is from. Stitch Toolbox, maybe? I think that's right. And then my second April Whip Go Cowl was Howling Quaker. I will put a picture of what that looks like here. This is in a bag by Creative Carol Designs with appropriately spooky stuff on it. And I am doing this on 40 count heather from Fiber on a Whim. And here's a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it, which was not very much on it, I think. And here's where I am now. I have met my Whip Go goal on this. I am going to try to get a little bit more done on this probably tonight and tomorrow before the end of the month, before I put it away. I would like to finish what's inside of this at least before I put it away. I am doing this in the called for colors so far, other than so this floss right here, which I think is called Smoke. I don't remember if it's Weeks or it's either Weeks or Classic Colorworks or something, Smoke something. I wasn't sure if it was going to show up on this fabric, and it did, but I had pulled this color up here, which you can't really see very well, which is a Fiberlicious Fibers color, as an alternative in case this was too light to show up. This up here was supposed to also be in like black, I don't remember, 310 DMC, I think. And I decided to use that other one I'd pulled there just to add a little bit of, not so much black right up here. So, but other than that, I'm doing it in the called for colors. Flip my page. I showed you last time that I had started this chart, which is, and this bag is, I think this one's Gamma's Treasures. Yeah, this is Gamma's Treasures. Sorry, it's one of the smaller bags I gotta get. Ooh. Oh, okay. Cardinal Points, which is by Long Dog Samplers, but was done as a chart for Gentle Arts, so it is not available on the Long Dog Sampler website, at least not at this point. I don't know if it ever will be. The chart's a few years old. I ordered it from, I believe, Traditional Stitches in Canada. And I had started this last time and showed you, and I don't think I had very much, but I did do a little bit more on it since I last showed you. I don't know how much. This is on 36 count white Zweigart. And I think when I showed it to you last, I had done that Dragonfly maybe just a little bit here, and I've done a little bit more here, and I've gotten down into here so that when you have borders like this, I like to get into a center part so I can choose whether to work on the border or whether to work in the middle and kind of go where I feel like working that day. And this is all Gentle Arts threads, which is a beautiful bright, you see mine, everything's all jumbled, but beautiful bright color palette, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. Well, that and there's dragonflies in the corner. So, let's see what else. One of my wheel calls for April, sorry, was Christmas at Hawkrun Hollow, which will look like this when it's finished. My Whip Go goal for the year is to finish, I was working on block 1, is to finish block 1 and all of block 2, which I finished block 1 now and started block 2. This is in a brass button bag that's kind of Christmassy. Here's where I was last time. And here's where I am now. I am doing this on 27 count even weave in the Whisper colorway, which is a very, very light gray. I'm doing this 1/1 in the DMC. So I'm doing it 1/1 so that it's not quite so giant. I mean, it's going to be big still anyway. Anyway, I'm doing the DMC. The only thing I'm substituting is the pattern calls for a thread gatherer mint, something frosted mint. I can't remember, for this snow that's like in this block. And there's a couple of places where it's like snow. And there's no DMC substitute listed. I didn't really want to order that, but it's also, I think it's also a silk, which we give it a shine, and that would be neat. But I love working with silk. Anyway, I went through my stash and I found this Forbidden Fiber Co. Snowdrift, which you're probably not going to be able to see the color of very well, but it's basically a white with just the slightest little hint of blue. It's actually showing a little bluer there than it is, but I think it's going to give kind of the same effect as the thread gatherer floss. Apparently has just like the slightest hint of a mint green, so that it kind of gives the impression of, you know, a reflection off the snow. So and then my other week call for April was the Chronicles of Narnia by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, which is one of the Stitching Book Club patterns. It was like a 3-part kind of mystery pattern. The whole pattern is out now, and this is what it will look like. And this is what it looked like the last time I showed you, which wasn't very much. And here is where I am now. So that top part was all of Clue 1. I finished that. And I have finished all of, I think that's all of Clue 2 finished, except for the back stitching, which is going to fill in a lot of this up here and turn this into a word and everything. So, again, the Chronicles of Narnia by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, the Stitching Book Club. And then because I was doing, April, I was doing Choose My Whip on Semi-Sane Stitchers. I kept putting up Halloween Quaker, which was one of my monthly calls. Against everything else was a monthly call, and everything else kept winning. And so the last week, I had to have something to put Halloween Quaker up against. So I went ahead and did another spin on my wheel and got O Feathers, which won. Apparently nobody liked Halloween Quaker on Choose My Whip. I still got a decent amount done on Halloween Quaker because I worked on it here and there. But anyway, so O Feathers, which is, oh, and I didn't show you, sorry. This is a Sock Monkey bag that Narnia is in, that is Gamma's Treasures. O Feathers is in. This is a bag from Lynn X Stitch Creates. It was one of her quarterly bags last year. I'm not sure, maybe spring. It was either, I think it was spring quarter, but I'm not sure. This is O Feathers by Rosewood Manor. Looks like this. This was charted in, and I am using a sulky pack. So, and I am doing this on 36 count antique white Zweigart. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. Sorry, my nose is itching. And here's where I am now. This is also, this is a Whip Go call for May. So I will get another week of this in May. My Whip Go goal for this is 2,000 stitches, which I am almost at on what I've done with it for Choose My Whip this month. So I may not give this a full week in May because of some other things I'm going to be starting in May, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So, and then the last thing I've worked on is, last night was once a month Zoom, Fancy Folk Zoom with Pam from Just Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. I don't know if she has the sign up for that open right now. It may be full. But if you're doing what she calls a Fancy Folk, which for me is a Mirabilia, Bella Filipina, you know, a fancy folk. I am doing Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. And this is in a brass button bag, the Grinch, with more Grinch inside. So last night, the Zoom for this is the 4th Thursday of every month. She also does a Zoom on the 2nd Thursday of every month for Hawthorne Hollow, and I do that as well. And so worked on this a little bit last night. Here's what it looked like last time you saw it. Let me get it the right way. And here's what it looks like now, which doesn't look like much. Last night I worked in here and did most of that. So that's, it's like his robe and the ribbons in here. So I did a center start on this one. And that is all I have stitched on since I last saw you. On the docket for May, May Whip Go was O Feathers, which I mentioned. And I will do some more work on that and get it to at least 2,000 stitches. Like I said, I may not give it a full week. We'll see. The other May Whip Go Cowl is Quarantine Cats, which is a Heaven and Earth design. I'll put a picture of what that looks like there. I'll show you later where I am. That also has come up on one of my spins for May. So that's supposed to get at least 2 weeks in May. And my Whip Go Go for that is 5,000 stitches because it's full coverage. So that will, but I will make that my May focus for semi-sane stitchers. And since both of the scheduled touchings for the year are coming up in May, I will endeavor to get the full 5,000 stitches done in May on that one. And then the other spin that has come up for May is Snow Queen, which is my other Mirabilia. I'll put a picture of that, what that looks like here. So I will try to put a week of weekdays in on that. So the other thing that I'm going to do in May is I'm going to sort of do my version of May Mayhem. I have let's see, how many projects do I have currently? I got my list up here now. I currently have 26 projects already. So there's no way I'm starting a new project every day for how many days. And I want to kind of keep my rotation of the Monday through Friday weeks doing. So what I'm doing is basically the same thing I did last year. I'm going to start a project sort of every Saturday. I'm going to start a project May 1st, which is a Sunday. And then every Saturday for 3 more Saturdays after that. Which I think is every Saturday after that. I can't remember. So what I am starting May 1st, I'm starting with Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, is doing this as a stitch along. And I can't remember what the hashtag she's using is. It's a Tisket a Tasket by Rosewood Manor that just came out at Nashville Needlework. And the hashtag, I think, is Tisket Tasket Sal. I'll put it on the screen here. I'll look it up and put it on the screen here. Anyway, she's doing a stitch along, starting Sunday the 1st. She is doing a Zoom call on Tuesday night the 3rd. She has a Facebook group now called Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, which if you join that, then you can see the event she's created for the Zoom call if you want to start that as well. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to start that on May 1st. The next weekend, I am going to start Love Reigns by Teresa Kogut. And I'll put a picture of that there, what that looks like. I'm doing that. I'll tell you the fabrics and stuff as I show those later, but I want to get that one started because I really like that one as well. The next weekend, I will be out of town that weekend, so I think my start will be, I'm going to do one of my Mill Hill kits. I'm not sure which one yet. So I think I will start that one that weekend since I'll be traveling. That'll be a smaller project to start. And then the fourth start that I'm going to do in May is Kringles by Little House Needleworks, which is a project that I've had mostly kitted up for a year or so, and I just haven't started. So I decided to go ahead and at least pull one of my new starts out of my kitted projects as they already existed. Excuse me. I may also get the urge, if I feel like I have time, to start. I have kitted up. Well, I have several things kitted up, but the other one I considered starting is Praiseworthy Stitches Santa's Midnight Ride, which I have kitted up. So I may start that one as well. If I just get the urge to start another one, we'll see. So let's go to stashing for retirement. So I'll start first with the things that I have get subscription-wise or clubs that I belong to, some of which you may have seen on other floss tubes already, so I'll go through quickly. My Bestitch Me fabric for March, I couldn't remember which month, which is cinnamon. I get the 36 count linen, so that's kind of it's a little oranger than it's kind of showing, I think, but, so that's nice. Let's see, Crazy Annie's Classic Colorworks Floss. I'm not sure which one of these. I have February and March. I'm not sure which is which. This one I got, so there was supposed to be, from looking at somebody else's floss tube, there was supposed to be a blue in this, but I got 2 lemon limes instead. I've emailed with them, and it's not a big deal. I'm not going to make a huge deal about it if they don't get it to me, but I'm hoping that when I get my April ones, I'll also have that blue, because of course blue is my favorite color, and that's the one I didn't get. But I also got these other 4. Again, I feel like you've probably seen these, so I'm not going to show you. And then this is the other Crazy Annie's, because I got 2 at a time because they got behind in shipping. So I'm guessing, well, I think this is probably the February, because that looks more romantic, I guess, to me, and that this was March with all the green, but I could be wrong. I'm debating canceling this one, in part because they're perpetually behind, which I don't know, some of which I don't think they can control, but some of which I think they can. I don't know. I could be wrong. But also I have signed up for Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, owns a shop called Stitch New England. And she has started Classic Colorworks and Weeks and a couple others. But I've signed up for her Classic Colorworks and Weeks clubs. And those are 10 skeins each. So I may just be I may decide to let that one go instead in favor of hers, just because I don't need it so much, but we'll see. I'm probably going to do both for a couple months and see. Forbidden Fiber Company, this is the March. This one's really pretty. Flag. And based on the spelling of that, I think that is intended to be a nod to the LGBTQ plus flag, but I'm not sure. I'll show you these just because I don't think this is indigo and hyacinth, a blue and a purple, quarter quail and gecko. Quarter quail's the burgundy. Soot, just like a gray, dark walnut, medallion, gold, spice, one of a kind. This is a one of a kind that is kind of white with like pinks and light blue, swanky gray, and Panem, which I think is also a Hunger Games reference. Couldn't think of the name of the books. And then I belong to the Rogue Fabric and Floss clubs, and there was I got both March and April together because, and it wasn't really their fault. There was a mess up for some reason with my PayPal. My PayPal payment didn't go through in February for the March club. And they didn't realize it, and I didn't realize it till sometime in March. So it's been fixed now and everything, but basically we just realized that I never actually, the March never shipped to me. So when they shipped me the April, they shipped me the March as well. And I know, so this was the March fabric, which is Steel by Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I think this was the March floss. I'm not 100% sure. This is Classic Colorworks. Colonial Copper, Black Coffee. Black Coffee is always a good one to use on a lot of stuff. Honeycomb, Tea and Biscuits, Bamboo, Roasted Chestnut, another good classic, Chesapeake Bay, Pumpkin Harvest, Pine Needles, which ironically I just bought a skein of for that Santa's Midnight Ride, and Cherry Cobbler. Or actually, no, Pine Needles I bought for Kringles. That was the one floss I didn't have of that. And then the April fabric was Applejack from Ship's Manor, which is a really bright apple green. It's really pretty. Green is, I like green. It's not my, blues and purples are my natural gravitate to. Something will look good on this. I'm just not sure what. We'll figure it out. And then the floss this month was Water Lilies Care and Silk, or Care and Water Lilies Quill Plast Silk in Guacamole. Forsythia. We have these growing in our yard. Glacier. That's my jam. And Pomegranate. So, got all those. And then I got Lynn X Stitch Creates Spring March Mystery Bag. Which, this is the bag. Really pretty. My Tisket a Tasket that I'm getting ready to start is going to go in this. And it came with a pattern from In My Studio Creates. And some tea and a nail file and a needle threader. And there was also some candy in there, but I've already eaten that. And then a needle minder from Rebel Stitcher Designs, which is, take that, unwrap that part. 3 bunnies, like, kind of curled around each other. Okay. And then on to the stuff that I've just kind of bought. So these just arrived yesterday, but they're sitting here, so I'll show you first. I got 2 more bags from Creative Carol. She is on Etsy. She, like Brass Button, puts handles on her bags, which I really like. I love Brass Button too, but Brass Button's harder to get. So this is a patriotic, I love eagles. You know, my Ravelry name is Legal Eagle. I am going to put my One Nation is going to get moved to this. I'm going to rearrange some projects and bags probably today sometime. And then I also got this this with the Teresa Kogut fabric. I can't remember what this fabric's called. My Love Reigns that I'm getting ready to start is going to go in this one. Let's see what else. I ordered a couple of t-shirts from Athena at, I think it's Goddess Designs, Stitch Goddess Designs. Excuse me, she has a Facebook group, and you order by messaging her. She's got a Facebook group with albums that show you the designs and then the colors and stuff like that. So I got me a couple of Stitch t-shirts. I got Midnight Stitcher Society, which I'm definitely a member of because I am a real night owl, so I'm often stitching at midnight. And then I had to get this one. I got so much procrastinating done today, but I sure did stitch a lot. Sorry, I can't read backwards. So got those. Let's see. I finally got, I belong to the Facebook group Homespun. Is it Homespun Elegance? Homespun something. Anyway, they do exclusive patterns and kits from designers, you know, so every so often they have an exclusive. And this one was back from the fall, but I was late I was on the tail end of claiming it, and so I was in the group that had to wait. This one came from Acorns and Threads. Oh, that helps. It came from Acorns and Threads, and, you know, they had to order more fabric and stuff. So, sorry if there's any crinkling. I was going to open this and show you the stuff. You may have seen this. I know Helen D got this, but I think she got the Ada. Winter Comes is the pattern. I got what's supposed to be the lighter fabric on mine, although mine's a little bit darker than that. I'll show you here in a minute. But I will probably do the whole with the words and everything if I do it. The words say, winter comes with frost plus snap plus gust plus snow, with branch plus howl plus drip plus blow, with wool plus boot plus mitt plus muss. I think it says M-U-S, muss. Mug, sorry. With curl plus book plus hearth plus snug. It wasn't until I saw snug that I realized that was mug. Anyway, so it's from Heartstring Samplery. And this was an exclusive through this group for Acorns and Threads. I imagine eventually it will be released to the public. And then the fabric that came with it, is supposed to be Lakeside Linens 36 count vintage wood smoke. So mine looks, like I said, mine looks a little darker in person than it looks on this picture, but, and then it came also with all of the called for weeks floss. Whoops, about to drop stuff. Here's the colorway, which will look nice on that. Actually, when you put that on there, it kind of makes the fabric look lighter. And then it also came with an Acorns and Threads corner gauge. Sorry. It says Winter Comes on the back. It has the Heartstring Samplery logo. And then it came with some cute little stickers, which now that I've shown you that, I can put up here with my stickers for my planner. So I finally got that. Sorry, I need to get this all back in the bag so it doesn't get separated before I get it put into one of my bags I put kid stuff into. Okay, what else did I get? Let's see. I placed an order from Colleen at Rebel Stitcher Designs. I got 2 XJU design fabrics. I got 36 count in Midnight Ride. Colleen's doing a project on this, and I really liked that. And then also 36 count, I couldn't pass up one called Dragonfly. So I think that'll be pretty for like a springy piece or something. And then Colleen has started carrying cottage, what is it called? Let me say it right. Cottage Garden Threads. CGT. Where's the, oh yeah, Cottage Garden Threads from Australia. And so I just bought 2 in colors that I like to try those on something at some point. I haven't tried them yet. So got those. Let's see. So I did break down, and ordered Humming of the Bees from Blackboard Designs, which was a national release. I did not order it originally in my pre-orders because it was one of those things I was like, oh, that's okay. But the more I looked at it, the more I saw people show it, the more I decided I really had to have it. I don't know when I'll start it or everything, but I wanted, because Blackbird is one of those that patterns do go out of print and sometimes maybe don't come back, I definitely wanted to get it. I also got number 5 and number 6 from Year in the Woods. Number 5 was the Ferret. And when I order mine through the Hobby House Needleworks. And when I order these, I always get the fancy floss that calls for. All these patterns usually call for 2 fancy floss and the rest DMC. So I usually go ahead and get the fancy floss, just so whenever I decide what I'm going to do with these, I will have it. And then just got this like this week. The newest one is the Bear. who I love because he looks so happy, like he's rolling around and frolicking. And I got the 2 fancy flosses that go with that. And then I think when I ordered the ferret, I can't remember, I got the this year's Prairie Schooler Santa, because I have managed to accumulate all of these in some form. Several of them I got through the re-release books they've done that have 4 or 5 in them. But I have, I think, all of them now, so I want to keep those up. And eventually, one of these days, I'll make some of those. You may know that Fire Poppies has, probably at this point, has gone out of business. She has decided to retire. I don't blame her. I'm looking forward to retiring myself. And she did a sale and sold almost everything online. So I get her email. So I had my cart loaded. And I ordered, my first order, I ordered a couple of fabrics, and then I ordered some floss I needed to finish kitting some stuff, and I've put that floss already up. So the 2 fabrics I got were 36 count pearl from Mystic, which is just kind of a grayish neutral. Look, got a hint of green to it. And 32 count chalkboard from XG Design. Just, you know, some basic fabrics. And then a couple of days later, she posted, you know, that all that was left was floss. And I didn't have flosses in any particular projects, but I just went on there and I picked out a bunch of weeks and colors that I liked. And I'm not going to take these out and show them to you, but I just basically bought like 20 skeins or so to kind of build up my weeks collection. So I got those from Fire Poppies. I was hoping one of these days to make a visit to Fire Poppies, because they're really not that far from me. But that's not going to happen before they close, which I think they are already closed. She had planned to start the online sale. I think the online sale started, it was a weekday, but like the next day she couldn't even open the store. There's so many online orders because it started at midnight. Also, sadly, since then, Stitch and Frame in Rock Hill, South Carolina has announced that they are closing, I think sometime into May. So they have things on sale right now. She doesn't do as much of an online business. I mean, she has an online website, but I think it's not as big a part of her business. I've heard several people have been there and still found stuff. So I think their sales going a little slower, but sadly, I probably won't make it down there, before they close. So, I had been there. I had actually visited there once, but I ordered from Fire Poppies all the time. So anyway, one other thing that I didn't mention in my hearsay is, back the weekend that I went to the mountains, my friend Michelle and I, Pineapple Fabrics in Archdale, North Carolina, was having their warehouse sale. So my friend Michelle and I went to that, and I bought a lot of fabric, which I'm not going to show you. But we also, Archdale is not too far from Winston-Salem, so we went into Winston and visited a couple of shops there. I visited Time to Stitch, which is a new shop in Winston, which is mostly a needlepoint shop. But they do carry some threads that can be used for cross stitch. And I bought a needle minder, which says less bitching, more stitching. I bought some St. James needles to try, and that's open because I've already pulled one out of there. These are the, I had not tried the St. James yet, so, and I really liked those Pat's Favorite, which can't get those anymore. And then they had Gloriana silk, so I bought 2 silks that I liked to try. I got this one, and then I got this one, which is kind of the same as this blue in here, so that I could kind of extend it on some small sometime. And then we went to a little, it's not really, I wouldn't call it a quilt shop. It's a little fabric shop that's in Renolda Village, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it below across the screen. And I bought a little bit of fabric there, which, again, I'm not going to show you. They had some floss for embroidery, and they had, I can't remember the name of this, and now I can't read it. Hold on, I got to put my glasses on. Valdani, that's it. They had some Valdani in cotton, so I just picked up 3 skeins of that I liked, you know, that I will try sometime in a small project. And then the other neat thing, sorry, I'm throwing trash all over my the other neat thing about the store in Ronaldo Village is they have a little room in the back that's like a reuse room where people can bring craft supplies of all kinds that they don't want anymore. And there's, you know, there's fabric scraps, and there's books, and there's some yarn, and there's zippers, and there's buttons, and there's, you know, I bought a new sock ruler. Sock ruler is, oh, actually I have it right here, sorry. So I use these for knitting socks, for measuring how long how long my sock is before I want to. And I've been wanting another one, and they had one there that somebody had, you know, brought in, and it's not consignment. I think people just donate the stuff and then they sell it for a smaller amount. These are usually, I think, like $10 or $12, and I got it for like, I think, $4 or something. But anyway, I found 2 books because I like to rescue old books. The first one is a DMC book from, let's see, when is this? 1974, on Assisi Embroideries. Assisi, is that how you pronounce that? I think that's right. And it's got lots of, there we go. That's more traditionally what I think of Assisi. I think of Assisi as using the negative space for the picture. So anyway, there's and these are not actually charted. I mean, these pictures, that is what chart you have. There are some instructions on how to use them and stuff like that. But anyway, I just thought that was neat, so I bought that. And then I also found, and I think I paid like maybe $2 each for these or something. This book is called Charted Folk Designs for Cross-Stitch Embroidery, 278 charts of ancient folk embroideries from the countries along the Danube. So I spent a summer when I was in college in Austria, which is on the Danube. And I just thought this is just really, so there's lots of, I'm showing you these, but because they're in color, I don't think anybody could actually use these from me flashing these charts. Plus this book is from, let's see when this book is from. This is Dover Books on Crafts. And first published in 1975, it is an unabridged and unaltered replication of the work originally published by Sebaldus Verlag Nuremberg in 1950 under the title Suzanne, S-U-S-A-N-N, which I think is a area near the Danube. Suzanne Folk Cross-Stitch Charts. So this was published in 1975, and this is the 1975 publication. So this it does tell you in text which area each of these is from, but it doesn't categorize them. Like in this paragraph, it says, the designs of Austrian motifs and their gay elegance, number 99, 131, 136, you know, and it has parentheticals that tell you like the area, whether it's Carinthia, Vienna, Viennese Neo-Gothic, that sort of stuff. They also show you some neat tips. Like, I had never really thought about this. Y'all may know this. I didn't. Like to take a pattern and turn a corner with it, to use a mirror so you could see how you need to adjust the pattern. I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, I love history, and I love historical crafts and stuff. So if I ever get the urge, sorry, I just shook the camera. If I ever get the urge to design anything, you know, these are the types of books that I like to look at. So I got that. So that is all for stashing for retirement. On the calendar, a couple things. The James River Yarn Crawl is May 13th through whatever the weekend after that, the 20th, 21st. The James River area is from like Virginia Beach, Virginia, up to Williamsburg, over to Richmond. So my friend Michelle and I have decided that we want to go do some of that. We are not limiting ourselves to just the yarn crawl. We may not hit all the yarn shops, because there's one in Virginia Beach. There's 2 in Williamsburg. There's 2 in Richmond. And there's one in maybe Newport News, I think. Anyway, but Dying to Stitch is also in Virginia Beach. There's a quilt shop. Now, I can't remember where I found the quilt shop. Anyway, we're not going to try to hit all the yarn shops. As a matter of fact, we may not hit Richmond at all, even though we will come back to Richmond. But the two in Richmond, one's north of Richmond, and the other is kind of on the west side of Richmond. So it will depend on what time we come back through Sunday. But our plan is we're going to drive up Friday after work to Virginia Beach. Well, Chesapeake. We're going to stay in Chesapeake. So that Saturday we can hit Dying to Stitch and the yarn shop there, whose name I can't remember. The yarn shops are actually open on Sunday because of the yarn crawl. So we need to hit Saturday anything that's not a yarn shop that we definitely want to hit. And then the shop there's two shops in Williamsburg, but the one that I really want to go to is the Flying Needle, which is the one that Susan from Robin's Promise Yarn runs or owns. So I don't know if we'll get there by Saturday afternoon, but if not, we'll do that Sunday. So part of whether or not we stop at the yarn shops in Richmond on Sunday depends on how long we stay in Williamsburg on Sunday, because we're going to stay Friday night in Chesapeake and then Saturday night in Williamsburg, and then head home Sunday. So we're doing that. I am going to StitchCon weekend A in June, which is the weekend of June 9th through 12th. I have finished the stitching on my small. I still have a couple other things. I still have something else to finish that's going on the small, and then I need to make, like, fully finish the small. And I think I'm going to make one other thing to go in the bag if I can get my button gear and get it started. So we will see. And with StitchCon in mind, sorry, I got to reach back here for something. I have something else that I ordered. So I ordered some cards with my information on them, and, just Criminally Creative. And then on the back, I've got, my smaller logo, my IG, my Ravelry, email, the link to my channel, and a QR code for my channel. And then I also ordered, put this back on here like I had it so you can see. I also ordered needle minders. So I've created needle minders, and I ordered these through Colleen at Rebel Stitcher Design. I had the graphic artwork, my logo, and I sent her that, and so she ordered the resin needle minders, and then she glued all the magnets on the back for me as well. So for what I thought was a very reasonable price for the number that I got and the work that she did. So, and I didn't have to find a vendor to do it. She had a vendor that I knew. I liked what they put out. So I have, if you're going to StitchCon, I will have these to give away. And when I ordered my cards, I ordered the cards through Vista Print. And I went ahead and got myself a tote bag with my logo on it, so I can be all fancy. And I also ordered a t-shirt, although the t-shirt's a little bit larger than I expected, but, we'll see. I ordered a size up because I was worried it was going to run small. But anyway, it might shrink a little bit. If not, it's just to be a giant t-shirt. I've never cared about things being really loose. So anyway, so that's about it. The only other things going on, my oldest niece graduates from high school Memorial Day weekend. Can't believe she just turned 18 years old and she's graduating from high school. My middle niece just got her driver's license this weekend. She turned 16 a couple weeks ago. And then I have 4 grandkids. Both my grandkids that live close enough to me to see. 2 of my grandkids live in Arizona with my son, who is in the Army. My daughter's oldest, my grandson Alden, has a birthday in May, and then her daughter has a birthday in June. So we will probably see them for one of those. I don't know that we will go down there for both of them. We'll see. We're just going to kind of play it by ear. And the other 2 do have birthdays later. One has my son Logan's children have birthdays in July and September. So Anyway, that's about it. I'm just, work is gonna sort of get busy again mid to late May. And that's about all. I'm just stitching and doing some knitting and, just trying to relax and enjoy life. So anyway, I hope that y'all are all doing well and staying safe and having fun. Things seem to be not turning back to normal, but travel seems to be opening back up and all of that. So I am looking forward to the couple of trips I'm planning to take, and I need to look at maybe planning a long weekend for my husband and I, figure out somewhere to go. I'm not opposed to flying. My hesitation about flying right now is that flights can't seem to keep getting canceled, and I don't want to book a big trip that depends on flying, and then the flights get screwed up, and the trip gets screwed up. I mean, I have flown since the pandemic. We flew to New Orleans in August of last year. We flew to Arizona in October to see my son. So, but I am driving to Cincinnati for StitchCon. That is also in part due to work. I don't know when I'm going to be able to leave Wednesday. I'm going to drive up Wednesday night. I'm planning to drive all the way Wednesday night. I've booked a room for Wednesday night as well, and told them I may be after midnight getting there, which is fine with me. I'm a night owl, so, as long as I'm there by 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll be fine driving. So I'm driving to StitchCon. It's an 8-hour drive. I'm hoping to be able to leave work early that Wednesday so that I don't get there at 2 o'clock in the morning. But, we'll see. Whatever. I like to road trip. It is what it is. And I'm rambling now, so I will let you go. And if you stayed this long, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you will have enjoyed it and come back. Feel free to leave me comments below. My email address is on the end of this, and I believe in the box below. I'll try to remember to put it there if you need to email me any questions that you don't want to post as comments. And I think that's about it. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.